Hey guys, welcome to Mail Monday, a weekly series that's not so much about the gameplay, but instead is about your questions and my answers to them. One quick note though, the reason I picked this game is I had subs in it, and they were so nice to me and so excited to be in the same lobby that I thought, you know what? You're on Mail Monday, baby. So here you are, you're famous dude. Let's get this started. Walked in on parents having sex. Woody, I'm 16 and I'm from Canada, and earlier this week I walked in on my parents getting it on. I've avoided them all week and I'm not sure how to face them. I don't need to be on Mail Monday, but any advice would be great. Thank you and keep up the great work. By the way, the cocaine stories video was amazing. Well, thanks. I wasn't sure about that one when I made it. All right, here's the deal. When you live with someone, you're going to develop a certain level of intimacy and knowledge with that guy or girl that you wouldn't otherwise have, right? You know, you get a roommate, you're going to be aware of the fact, you know, if she's a girl, you'll know her cycle, you'll know that she clips her toenails, you'll know that people occasionally masturbate, you'll know that these things all go on. And you have discovered that parents have sex. Spoiler alert, it's out there. Parents have sex. It's a good thing. There are two schools of thought on how to handle this whole, children and sex thing, which came out weird. Most people, including my wife and I, we try not to put any kind of sex life in front of the kids, right? They shouldn't even know, ideally. But if they did, I wouldn't have a huge problem with it. And it's because I knew that my parents had sex. I knew they had sex a lot. A lot, trust me. And it never really bothered me. Instead, it was this level of security. It was like a good thing that I was aware of how active they were. Because, for all the problems that you had in life, for all the difficulties that you faced as you work your way from childhood to adulthood, one of the problems I didn't have was my parents having a really bad relationship. They weren't about to get divorced. Everything was cool. And that was somewhat, manifested itself in a really healthy sex life. So the fact that I would sometimes hear them doing their thing, the fact that I'd sometimes catch one sneaking over to the other's room and doing whatever, they had separate rooms but a super active sex life, the fact that that stuff went on in my house growing up didn't bother me. It was this level of security and assurance that my parents' marriage was okay. And it sounds like your parents' marriage is okay too. So, instead of, getting all upset and saying, oh my God, I can't face them, I can't see them, I think you should relax a bit and tell them to, flip her over and do that thing right. Hey Woody, longtime sub, love the vids. Something I've noticed in your recent videos and live streams is that you mention a parental report card. So a little break here. The parental report card is this term I use for when you turn 18 and again at 22, 25, 27, whatever, you sit there and you judge how good your parents were at parenting. Which colossal mistakes did they make raising you? Didn't let you try out for the sports team when that would have been a good idea. Didn't let you take a job. Didn't give you enough trust, gave you too much trust, should have checked your homework on a nightly basis. You sit there and you judge your parents and figure out what they did well and what they did poorly. So that's the parental report card. I was wondering, with college 2 weeks away, whether parents issue report cards on their kids. I have a feeling they do. I think they will issue one on the way home, dropping me off on move-in day. And you're finally alone, and you have to be responsible for only yourself without parental supervision. What do you think? Do parents issue a report card on kids? I wonder. And I bet it's how the parents are wired too. For example, we homeschooled Hope last year, right? And in some ways it worked out really great. I mean, she tested super well at the end of the year and stuff like that. In some ways it didn't work out as great as we wish it did. And now she's back in public school. And I look at that and my personal way of thinking about it is that everything that didn't go well is my fault. That's kind of how I'm wired. What could I have done better? What could I have done to make this work? To make this have been not just successful, but wildly successful, right? That, of course, is the target in everything we do. My wife, on the other hand, will look at it and say, well, Hope, there were a lot of times in there where, you had work ethic issues. Or there were a lot of times in there where, this went wrong or that went wrong. And, it wasn't just us. We were putting it out there. We got you the materials you needed. We got you the support that you needed. We got you this, we got you that. And there are times when you just didn't do what you were supposed to be doing. That's your fault. Whereas me, it's everything is my fault. If she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, then that means that I'm supposed to encourage and motivate her in a way that I didn't do. That's just a difference in how I guess my wife and I are wired. So, on to your question. Do parents issue a report card for their kids? I think it's really parental specific. I think that, some of them will, some of them won't. And I would guess that the day that we drop Hope off for college, I'm going to be far more worried about how well this experience will go for her and how prepared she is for, just being responsible for herself, getting work done when no one's there to tell her to do work and things like that. I might issue my personal report card and make predictions on it, but I don't think I'll be judging her on how good a kid she was. I think I'll be more just hoping that the next stage of her life is successful. Dear Woody, I love your videos, especially Mail Monday. First off, I'm a girl, I'm 14, and I need some advice. So the story is, last year in August, I met a guy over Xbox Live and I got his number. We started texting a lot. After a couple months, I started to really like him, more than anyone I've ever liked before. The problem is, he's 18. When we met, we were 17 and 13. Now, as you can see, they're 18, 14. And he has a girlfriend who's my age. I've only told 4 people about him. He's like my best friend, but none of my friends like him, which really bugs me. Me and him have talked about not talking to each other anymore, but that would completely crush me. I'm not sure what to do about the whole situation. Should I keep talking to him? Should I even like him? What should I do? This doesn't need to be on Mail Monday. A simple reply back would mean the world to me. I like online relationships. What I like about online relationships are the things that don't matter, right? In an online relationship, your sex hardly matters. Your body fat doesn't really matter. Your age hardly matters. The only thing that really matters is who you truly are on the inside, right? That's the cool thing about online relationships. It's awesome, right? It's the way that like real life relationships should be, but never are, right? Because, whatever, if you're tall and handsome and stuff like that, the whole world just goes a little easier for you. That's kind of well known, right? Now, the 18-14 thing, I would describe as on the edge of acceptable. If you're an American, that would be a high school senior and a freshman. And, that happens. Seniors date freshmen sometimes. It's a bit of a spread, but it's certainly not like a senior dating an 8th grader or something like that, which is just freaking crazy. As far as an entry into like how relationships work and stuff, this isn't such a bad way to get started. I almost feel like the online relationship is the training wheels version of the real relationship. Should you stop talking to him? Well, he has a girlfriend, and it kind of makes you the other woman. Like, that's my big problem with this thing. If you had everything else set up, right? If it was just you and a guy talking online, kind of doing a training wheels version of a real relationship, then I would be like, this is awesome. Keep talking to him. What's the problem? But instead, there's like this romantic, emotional relationship thing going on while he's dating somebody else. And for that, I think you're not, I think the whole like right and wrong conscience thing isn't being met here. I think it's time for you to back off this woman's man and, let that relationship have its space. So, yeah, I know it's crushing. I know you like this guy, but he's dating somebody, and, you wait your turn. My mom might be doing porn. Dear Woody, I do the laundry regularly, and I have a teenage sister. You know what that means. I find thongs normally. That's right. Girls wear underwear, too. I was recently watching porn, and I saw this one video, and it was titled, Wife Done in Crotchless Thong. I found the exact same thong in the laundry. I found this quite disturbing. Should I confront my mother? Should I ask my sister? What should I do? Well, you should ask me. All right, your mom has lingerie. It doesn't mean she's in porn. As a matter of fact, I think the smart money is that she's not in porn. I think you would have recognized your mom if it was her in that video, but I'm going to assume that what you're really saying here is you feel like everyone who has underwear like this probably does videos like that. That's not the case. Women wear lingerie because it's sexy. There's like a lot of reasons that it is sexy. One, they're just cut in flattering ways and it makes them look good. For me, it's a little more intellectual. I think it's hot that they have their own sex drive and that they're thirsting after me. And this is almost the uniform of I want you. And that the fact that she has a uniform like that is hot to me. That's what the deal is. And I don't know what floats your father's boat, but I would guess that the reason they have this thing is because, they find that it adds a little more excitement to their relationship, and that is a positive thing. So just like the other guy, I think what you should be thinking is, oh, cool, my parents dig each other. Not, oh gosh, my mom's probably in porn. It's all good, baby. You're coming from a solid family. Hey Woody, 16 and a sub all the way from your first Mail Monday video, and I gotta say I enjoy them lots. So I'm starting to question, what am I? There are some days where I think I'm just a tool in people's eyes because I help them out so much, especially with this one girl that I have deep feelings for. I asked her myself, am I a tool to you? Since I do a lot of favors for her. She said no, but as I continue to help her, that question always pops up in my mind. Am I more of a person who runs jobs for her or actually a friend? It just kills me thinking that what if I'm being just used and manipulated? Will I ever serve a greater purpose than just as a person who does a buttload of favors? I don't know. I want to be a lot more than a tool. Thanks for your time. Any responses appreciated. So the friend zone thing I've covered a million times. Being overly nice and fixating on one girl while closing your options to the others is obviously a terrible way to go about this thing. And your letter has tones of that. But why I chose it was the other stuff, the stuff that makes it different. You mentioned that you feel like you do a buttload of favors for lots of people, and that sometimes that makes you feel like a tool, like your relationships aren't balanced. That's a challenge that my wife has. My wife is incredibly nice. My wife does so many nice things for other people that it's just in her wiring. It never stops. The thing is, sometimes when she sort of, pops her head above the surface and looks around, she'll realize, like, you know what? Some of my relationships, the other people don't treat me as nicely as I treat them. And that's not right. That's not fair. So it's difficult for someone who's super nice, like you or my wife for that matter, to find balanced relationships. Relationships where other people do the kinds of acts of service that you're naturally wired to give out at the same rate that you do. I think what you need to do is look in your friends' hearts, to look into your girlfriend's or friend zone's heart and figure it out for yourself, Is this person loving me as much as I love them, right? And I'm using love, in the platonic sense, the romantic sense, etc. Are you getting out of this relationship what you're putting into it? Maybe this other guy shows, his caring for you in a different way, having your back when you're down, being the only guy that pulls you up when things are going rough, but maybe not in terms of acts of service. I don't know. But look into the hearts of the people around you, figure out whether or not they care for you in the same way that you care for them, and that's how you measure your relationship. All right, if you're still here, perhaps I've earned your like, and if you're new, subscribe in the top right blue corner. 2 vids you may have missed. The one on the left may be the best video that I have ever made. It's a song parody. I'm in love with it. It's that or Shucks You. I don't know. It's really good. I hope that you check it out. The one on the right, if you missed that too, is a Black Ops skill-based matchmaking. Today, all the matchmaking is kind of based on networking, network connections, and tomorrow it should be based on skill level, at least for part of it. You can check it out, learn all about it. They open in new windows, and have a good day.